In this video, we're going to look at how to evaluate adaptable QL expressions yourselves on the server. This is a fairly common use case where users want one of the modules which Adaptable uses AdaptableQL for evaluation, so that can be alerts or calculated columns, queries, filters. They want to create the query or the predicate using AdaptableQL, but for whatever reason they want to evaluate it themselves on the server. Now here we're talking about using the AgGrid client-side row model. There is an AgGrid server-side row model where you have to do server evaluation, and that's a subject for another video. But this is where you're using the client-side row model, but for whatever reason you want to evaluate externally. So obviously out of the box, Adaptable does all evaluation internally. So if I want to see just those two, and I want to see sort of where it's greater than 20,000, and I want to see where it's got an M, I can do those three filters and they will automatically be evaluated by AdaptableQL on the client. But as I say, you might want to do that on the server. That is available. There's a whole topic here called evaluating expressions and predicates externally. And essentially, the key is you need to basically tell Adaptable what you want it not to evaluate. And then you have to listen to events. So for instance, in this example we're going to look at, we are going to evaluate filters ourselves on the server. So what that means is we tell Adaptable not to automatically apply filters as we did in this example. Instead, Adaptable will fire this filter applied event, which tells me everything about the filters, and then we will evaluate them on the client. So you can see here we've told Adaptable not to listen to filters, and then we are essentially calling our server, and then when the data comes back from the server, we are using the Adaptable Grid API part of Adaptable API. So this is to set the initial grid data, and then when the data comes back, we set the data that comes back from the server with the data. We do have a whole demo. This will need some tidying by you. It's obviously not completely production ready, but it's an example of how you can convert adaptable predicates into SQL, which you can then evaluate yourselves externally. So let's look at that in action. If we go actually into the demo itself, so the first thing we should do is let's delete all messages. So now, for instance, if I want, say, any country which say starts with SC, then I see Canada, China, I see all these rows. And then if I just want where they've got 2 gold medals, I can do that. And I'm only getting those 2 gold medals, which starts with C. And what we've done here is we've outputted all the SQL to our system status message. So you can see that the final filter was select where country was like C, that's the starts with C filter, and the second one was where gold is equal to 2. So there we are. We've essentially told Adaptable not to evaluate these 2 filters itself automatically, which is the default, but we've listened to the filter applied event. We have applied the filters ourselves using SQL on our server, and then we return the data back to Adaptable. I hope that was interesting. As always, if you have any questions, you'd like to learn more, please get in touch with us and we'll be happy to provide you with a one-to-one demo or a free, no obligation trial license.